It's Monday, February 16th, 2026, and apparently it's Do a Grouch a Favor Day, which means Riley gets to be mean to me legally for the next few minutes. This is CoeCast. I'm Hunter.
I'm Riley, and yes, Hunt, I will be using my legal grouch allowance immediately. Also, quick context for the new listeners. This episode was made fully by machines, like end to end. If it gets a little haunted, that's the point.
We keep the weird takes, we keep the stutters, we keep the, wait, why did it say that moments? Okay. Today's big headline, Alibaba just dropped the Qwen 3.5 model family, and the flagship everyone's yelling about is Qwen 3.5 Cache 397B A17B, open weights, Apache 2.0, multilingual, multimodal, and a lot of agent tool use talk.
The timeline is acting like we just unlocked free energy. Apache license, we're saved. And I'm like, okay, but what's the catch, Hunter? Because there's always a catch, even if it's not in the license.
Yeah, the non-obvious catch enterprises hit after the hype scroll is basically three things. First, open weights doesn't mean easy. The flagship is huge, and even with mixture of experts where only 17 billion are active at a time, you still have real infra decisions. Memory, routing, throughput, quantization, serving stack, observability, the whole thing.
Like, congrats, you downloaded a dragon, now feed it.
Exactly. Second catch, open weights doesn't magically solve compliance. If you're in a regulated vertical, you now own model behavior. You don't get to email support when it hallucinates medical advice into your brand blog.
Wait, hold up, that's actually the most important. People think open equals safe. It's like, no, babe, it means you're now the adult in the room.
Third catch is, operational tool use and agents sound amazing, but the moment you plug a model into real systems, your bottleneck shifts from model is slow to my data and my workflows are a mess. The model can be faster at decoding, but your approval chain is still a group chat with 15 stakeholders.
Okay, let's hit the multilingual thing. They're claiming coverage across 200 plus languages and dialects. I've seen models that can say hello in a bunch of languages, but the second you ask for marketing copy that actually lands culturally, it's giving tourist energy.
Yep. So how do we test if it's multilingual marketing grade? My favorite test is not translation, it's transformation.
Explain.
You take one campaign concept and ask for localized versions with constraints that force cultural choices, like write a punchy product tagline for Brazil that feels like TikTok slang but not cringe, or rewrite this landing page hero for Japan with a more indirect tone and higher politeness. Then you evaluate with humans who actually speak it natively.
And you also test taboo zones, like what not to say. Marketing isn't just saying the words, it's knowing which words get you ratioed.
Exactly. Also, do format tests. Make it output ad variants for Meta, Google search headlines, and influencer scripts. If it collapses into generic corporate mush, it's not marketing grade, it's just multilingual autocomplete.
Okay, but Hunter, everyone on X is also screaming agent tool use improvements. We've been through this. Agents are the new blockchain. What actually works?
One agent workflow that actually works today for marketers with open models, content ops triage. So model reads briefs, pulls brand voice rules, checks existing assets, then drafts variants and routes them for review. The key is, it doesn't get to publish, it gets to propose.
Yes. Drafts with receipts, not fires from the hip.
Right. It can call tools like a content database search, a style guide checker, and maybe a claims validator. And it outputs a task packet for a human copy, rationale, and what sources it used.
One that's still a demo held together by Vibes, fully autonomous social media manager. The one that listens to trends, makes posts, responds to comments, and DMs influencers, without you watching.
That is a brand risk machine. You'll wake up and your brand is arguing about geopolitics in the replies because the agent got baited by a troll.
Or it starts flirting in the DMs like it's in a rom-com. No thank you.
Now, the other big story. JD.com open-sourced JoyAI-LLM-Flash, lightweight mixture of experts, about 48 billion total parameters with roughly 3 billion active. The vibe is cheap, fast, deployable. People are hyped about training tricks like muon optimizer and multi-token prediction.
I love how the internet hears muon optimizer and thinks it's a Marvel character. Like, muon man saves your GPU bill.
For a practical buyer, what should you care about? Honestly, cost per task, latency, and reliability. The fancy optimizer name matters only if it translates into you running more jobs for less money with fewer failures.
So what's the realistic ceiling for a 3 billion active model in a content factory before quality debt starts compounding?
Great question. The ceiling is higher than people think for low-risk, high-volume tasks. classification, routing, summarization, generating product description variants, extracting structured fields, basic internal search queries, draft metadata, that stuff.
But once you ask it to do brand voice with nuance, legal-safe claims, and platform-native humor, it starts to wobble.
Exactly. Small models get you speed and cheap throughput, but they're more sensitive to prompt quality and context, and they can be overconfident. So the quality debt shows up when you automate outputs that require taste, policy awareness, and factual precision.
So use it like an intern who's fast, enthusiastic, and needs supervision.
Perfect framing.
Okay, let's compare the big dragon and the tiny speedster. Between Qwen 3.5 and JoyAI-Flash, who wins the run-it-privately game? Like, do you self-host, do you rent endpoints, or do you just use an API and pray?
The break-even is mostly about three things: volume, sensitivity, and engineering appetite. If you have steady volume and sensitive data, self-host starts making sense fast, especially if you can run a smaller Qwen variant or Joy AI on your own hardware.
But if you're a scrappy team and you don't want to be on pager duty for GPUs,
Then hosted endpoints win. API and Pray is fine for non-sensitive experimentation and bursty workloads, but in production, you want contracts, audit logs, and a plan for model churn. Today's best open model becomes tomorrow's "why is this agent looping at 3 a.m.?"
speaking of looping, I saw chatter about some models getting stuck in like infinite thinking mode. Very relatable, but not ideal for a pipeline.
Yeah, it happens. That's why your orchestration needs timeouts, retries, and fallbacks. The model is one component, the system is the product.
Now, third headline, and it's a different vibe. Rescripted announced Clara, a women's health-focused LLM. Domain-tuned, science-backed framing, accuracy, and trust.
This is the vertical model wave, and marketers should care even if they're not in health, because it's the blueprint for domain brains.
Okay, but how should brands in regulated categories choose between a specialized model like Clara versus a general open model plus RAG plus guardrails without fooling themselves?
You start with risk. If the cost of being wrong is high, you want specialization and governance. A vertical model can reduce hallucinations in domain because it's trained and tuned on the right distribution, but you still need retrieval, citations, and human review.
So it's not vertical model equals perfect, it's vertical model equals fewer landmines.
Exactly. Meanwhile, a general open model with RAG can be great if you already have strong source material, a tight scope, and you can enforce only answer from retrieved docs, but you have to test it like you're trying to break it.
And you need a voice and compliance layer. Like, even if it's factually right, it can still sound like a robot giving medical advice, which is not the vibe.
100%.
Quick zoom out. The last week has been chaos. We've been talking about open weights getting better, multimodal getting cheaper, and the real plot twist being infrastructure. Like, everyone's dropping models, but the winners are the teams who can instrument workflows.
Yeah. The meta trend is open models are turning into interchangeable engines. The moat becomes orchestration, data hygiene, brand safety, and evaluation. And honestly, distribution and taste.
Taste is the final boss. You can't quantize taste.
Not yet. And as open models get faster, the bottleneck moves to prompts, orchestration, data pipelines, and compliance reviews. In that order, depending on the org.
Okay, last spicy question. What jobs inside marketing get quietly automated first, and what sticks around because humans have opinions?
Quietly automated first. Reporting summaries, content repurposing, variant generation, tagging, and routing. Basically anything that's repeatable and annoying.
And what sticks?
Creative direction, final copy approval, claims and compliance, and anything that requires political navigation inside the company. The model can't convince your VP that the headline is good.
The model can try, but it'll get a per my last email.
All right, Do a Grouch a Favor Day is almost over, so Riley, you get one last grouch.
Fine, here it is. If you download Qwen 3.5 and you don't set up evals, you're not innovating. You're just speedrunning chaos.
Fair. Thanks for listening to KoiCast. Subscribe if you want more of this beautiful mess.
And check out koi.com/resources for AI news and updates.
Do a grouch a favor today. Send this to a coworker who thinks agents means set it and forget it.
Catch you next time.